Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. My tutors in the Foreign Office have given me a written text, but Harun Sharif, your presentation and the resident representative of UNDP, your remarks have provoked me to dump the written text and speak to you extempore. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of this Sustainable Development Report 2021. I, as Foreign Minister, honestly believe that if we want to move forward, then we have to do things differently. Pakistan will not move ahead if we keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Mr. Sharif, what you said, and you recognized that in the last 2 years, under difficult COVID conditions, we did recover. And today the World Bank endorses that Pakistan has made I would say, encouraging growth of 5.37%. I recall August 2018, when we came to office, all, and you know that, all our macroeconomic indicators were pointing in the wrong direction. As Foreign Minister, I was traveling to Riyadh, Abu Dhabi, Beijing to plug the hole, the economic hole that was left of $20 billion. They helped, but it wasn't enough. We had to go to the IMF. And ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking of sustainable development in a country that is still part of an IMF program. So let's first of all understand the objectives of an IMF program and the objectives of a sustainable development plan. They do not go hand in hand. I mean, I'm not an economist, but this is my, this is my feeling, this is my understanding. What would the IMF tell us? Manage your house better, and rightly so. Contain your fiscal deficit through austerity. Mobilize resources to bridge the deficit, and growth will come later. What we are talking of is sustainable growth, and we're linking sustainable growth to development. In your remarks, and I'm sure I haven't seen the report, but I will. I think the theme that I've picked up, I picked up 3 buzzwords. Inclusive. I was writing them down while you were speaking. Sustainable. And how to do it. It's not that we haven't achieved growth in the past. We were touching 6% in the 80s. But our growth has been cyclical. We've gone up, we've gone down. And that is a clear indicator that the growth that we have achieved has not been sustainable. How do we make it sustainable? Is the question. And how do we maintain a consistent growth that would give us the investments in development, that would address the issues of alleviating poverty in Pakistan, job creation, so on and so forth. So, I think you said that 5.4% growth is good. Is it enough? The answer is no, sir. I agree with you. It's not enough. If a country like Pakistan wants sustainable development, we have to go higher than that. Now, how do we go higher than that? When, as you said, the development envelope is shrinking. There are too many claimants to international resources. And is Pakistan a high priority country? Not anymore. As Foreign Minister, I understand that. I understand how global priorities have changed. I also understand how alignments are taking place and realignments are taking place. And where does my country fit in? So, we have to be innovative. We have to think out of the box. And we have to be creative. That is what perhaps this report is saying, and that is what I am saying. Some of my colleagues, my diplomats sitting here, would bear me out. Since day one, I've been saying, if you want to achieve your foreign policy objectives, get your economic house in order. And gradually it seems my statements are gaining momentum. I can see today that the government's priority has changed. And today we have launched a new national security policy which is focusing on economic security. It is multi-dimensional in its scope. It is talking of food security, water security, and I was seeing in the videos here the new hydel projects that are coming up. So, that is the new approach that Pakistan requires. And as you said, the Foreign Office, does it have a role? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. In fact, the lead role has to come from the Foreign Office. I am giving this challenge to the diplomats of Pakistan. You have to lead this country out of the quicksand that we are in. You have to pull this country out. You will do it. We will have to coordinate. We will have to synchronize. Get out of that mentality of working in silos and have a coordinated approach for sustainable development. That is what I'm articulating. That is what I'm arguing. And inshallah, I am optimistic that slowly but surely that mindset is gradually, it takes time for the Titanic to, move. But I think it is. I think it is. It will take time. We've set the tone. We have, I would say, sown the seed. It is germinating. It will require a consistent approach. And I'm confident with this consistent approach, we will attain that we will achieve the SDGs, and we are far, far away from Agenda 2030. It's not just us. Look at the entire developing world. We are nowhere near achieving the SDGs in 2030. That's the realistic assessment. How do we do it? Will, as you said, the World Bank and other financial institutions come to our rescue? Perhaps they will, perhaps not. Perhaps their priorities will be different. So how do we tap on finances available is the question. You hit the nail on the head. And that's why your talk provoked me to dump my written statement. I agree with you. There are innovative ways of doing things. And let me give you an example. Ladies and gentlemen, excellencies, we as a government have introduced the Universal Health Card in Pakistan. What is this health card? It basically is health insurance being provided by the government to every family of Pakistan. It's been launched and it's been rolled out. And you're seeing advertisements on the newspapers. What will it do? It will, in our assessment, protect people, a large section of our population, from going beneath the poverty line because of health conditions. जैसे उर्दू में कहते हैं ना, एक झटका बीमारी का गुर्बत की लकीर के नीचे ले जाएगा. How do we protect those people? This health card, any family can go to any public-private hospital that has been enrolled, show the card and get treated. Believe you me, it is a huge, it gives you sense of security to the ordinary family, to the working, salaried people. It gives you security. But it's not just security and health. I'm just linking innovative ways of attracting finances. Now we have sustainable health indicators to achieve. They will only come through investments. As you said, the investment figures required are 16%. What we are doing is 0.2%. So, I mean, is it a match? It's a recipe of failure, what you have just pointed out. You're not achieving what you want to achieve. Let's face it. Let's call a spade a spade. With 0.2% in the play and 16% required, we are going nowhere. Let's not fool ourselves. We can produce these reports. They mean nothing. So, in order to fix that, we need innovative ways of doing it. The reason I'm giving you this example is there is an innovative way of doing it. How? When people know that the bulk of the population that resides in the rural areas where basic health units do not function, where rural health centers are there, doctors are paid but they're not available, medicines are being charged in the budget, a big percentage is pilfered, why would people go to those utilities? And they don't have the money to go to the private sector. They don't have the money to go to a private hospital. With this health card, the private sector will now know, aha, they have the sustainability. They have the 10 lakh, fund available to them. So they will come to me. So private investment will start going into the health sector in the rural areas of Pakistan, where the bulk of the population of Pakistan lives. That's an innovative way of doing it. In your video, you were talking about solar energy. I have been arguing, and I will continue to argue, that one of our challenges is costly electricity. Every time you go to the IMF, they say, raise your tariffs. And we have, in the last 3 years, we have been continuously raising the tariff. People are suffering. You look at the electricity bills, people are not happy about it. But then we look at the gap, resource gap, the easy formula is raise the tariff. But in a society, when you keep raising a tariff, a stage comes, it becomes counterproductive. We are of the view that it will add, after a certain level, it will add to electricity theft. So, the people who are paying will be paying more, the government will not be collecting enough, and the resource gap will be there. So how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this rut is the question. And I'm suggesting to the government, to the Ministry of Energy, as a first step, convert all your electricity tubers to solar. It's doable. You get rid of the discos and VAPTA and the theft and the corruption that goes with it. So there has to be an innovative way of moving forward. And this is not Pakistan. This is the story of every developing country. Every developing country. You can, with varying degrees, this is the story. So how do we get out of this situation? We need to tap on the private sector, finances. The private sector is there to make money. And if you make an offer that gives them a return, why shouldn't they come in? I mean, make an economically viable, attractive proposal. That is all. And they will invest. I mean, they're not part of the Salvation Army. They're profit-making organizations. So give them the profit and they'll come. That's the way, in my view, to go about it. I'm glad that you have put together a investor map for the first time in Pakistan. Thank you for doing so, and that I'm sure will be helpful. Moving on to one other point that you said, and that was governance, corporate governance, or just good governance. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the challenges that every third world country is facing is corrupt leadership. I'm being very blunt. I know I'm being recorded. It might be going live, but I'll say what needs to be said. How do we overcome that? At least Prime Minister Imran Khan, PTI, the party I joined, I left this office. I resigned, and I left for a purpose, to break the mold. And if we are not going to break the mold, I've been an M&A before. I've been a minister before. Even if I become a foreign minister for the second time, what difference does it make? I can get returned again. How will the country benefit? The country will benefit if we change the mindset. The country will benefit if we can somehow introduce a system through which new leadership can rise. A more educated leadership can surface. the quality of debate in Parliament changes. Legislative delivery improves. Governance improves. And for that, we are setting into motion something unique. Perhaps many are not noticing, but when they do notice, inshallah, we would have done it. And that is a new local government system. People want improvement in service delivery. How will it come? It will only come if the grassroots are involved in sanitation, in drinking water, in schooling, in health supervision and monitoring. It will only happen then. And that will happen through locally elected representative leadership. Now, we've had that in the past. How will this be different? This time, what we are doing is, we are saying, let the people of, let's say, Lahore, a metropolitan town, let the people of Multan, let the people of Faisalabad, let the people of Gujranwala, Sialkot, Gujarat, directly elect their mayor or the chairman of the district council. When you have an electoral college of 300, 500, 600, whatever, and I'm saying that because I have been chairman district council. I've risen from the local governments. I've been part of a provincial setup. When you have, and I've been district Nazim, so I know how that system worked. When you have a limited electoral college, you can maneuver. Governments can maneuver to get results of their choice. But when you have the people directly voting, they will look at the quality of the person leading them. They would look at the face of the city. Who is my mayor? How educated is he? Can he understand my problems? Can he relate my problems to the powers that be? For example, we have, the UNDP sitting and talking to us on some sustainable development goal. Do I have the depth to understand what you've produced? Can I read what you've written? It's a question. Can I understand what you're saying? It's a question. That is why. And are my hands clean? Why am I in politics? To make a buck? To settle scores? For witch hunting? Or to give Pakistan better governance, better leadership? This country, full of potential, can move forward. That is what quality leadership will do. And hopefully, with this new system, we might lose seats, but so what? Politics is not a T20 match, it's a test match. You come back again and again and again. You switch from treasury benches to opposition benches. And when you're sitting on the opposition benches, you have a role to play. Believe you me, when I was, the last 5 years, when I was the deputy leader of the opposition, and representing my party, I had a great time sitting in the opposition benches. I mean, I wasn't worried. There was no nab chasing me. Why would they chase me if my hands are clean? And why will I be afraid of them if I haven't, sort of soiled my hands? So, it is important. It is important to face The challenges are not new. The recipe is not new. The approach has to be new. That is what I'm trying to articulate. That is what I'm trying to sell in the Foreign Office of Pakistan. You as diplomats, as the face of Pakistan, as people representing the 114 missions abroad, have to provide that leadership. Have to connect with the diaspora. And they are very talented people, very talented Pakistanis living abroad. Tap them, bring them in. So, thank you. Thank you for helping us. Thank you, UNDP, for your policy advice. Thank you for your continued support. Thank you for your technical assistance. We require it. We need it. I've been asked to chair this task force. I want to assure you, and you, Harun Sharif, that as the chairman of this task force, I will try and build a partnership with you, with your organization, so that we benefit from you. You have a lot to offer. And inshallah, see collectively the public sector, the technocrats like you, and the private sector. How do we build this partnership to take Pakistan forward and to achieve the Agenda 2030? The public sector alone will not be able to do it. But collectively, yes, we can. Thank you.